Adrian Hale, the millionaire known for his cold confidence and sharp business mind, had always believed he could read people easily, except when it came to love. After building an empire from scratch and becoming the most sought-after bachelor in the city, he had everything except certainty about the intentions of those around him. His girlfriend, Cassandra, seemed perfect, elegant, graceful, beautiful, and always saying the right things. But something in her eyes unsettled him. It wasn't warmth, but calculation. And ever since Adrian inherited another massive portion of his family estate, her sudden increase in affection felt strangely rehearsed. Meanwhile, in the background of his grand mansion, Emma, the quiet, soft-spoken maid who had worked there for 2 years, moved through the halls unnoticed by most but always attentive to his needs. She wasn't flashy or glamorous like Cassandra, but honest, humble, and impossibly kind. Adrian had once overheard her give her entire monthly salary to a coworker whose child needed emergency surgery. She didn't know he saw. And that moment stayed in his mind forever. One evening, after another interaction with Cassandra that felt more like a business negotiation than a relationship, Adrian decided he needed to know the truth. His late father had once told him, if you want to test a person's character, show them weakness, not wealth. That night, a plan was born. Adrian would fake an accident, pretend to be paralyzed, and see who truly stood by him. Would Cassandra still love him without his power? Without his independence? Without the lifestyle he provided? And would Emma reveal her true heart as well, though she never even tried to impress him? The next morning, news spread through the mansion that Adrian had met with a tragic fall from his horse during early riding practice. He returned home in a wheelchair with a neck brace his doctor friend agreed to help him fake. Cassandra arrived in dramatic tears, too dramatic. She screamed and cried loudly, but her eyes dry. Not even a single tear. Meanwhile, Emma froze in shock, covering her mouth, tears instantly welling as she rushed to him, whispering, "Sir, oh my God, are you all right?" It was the most genuine voice he had heard in weeks. Adrian pretended to be weak, unable to move his legs, acting defeated. Cassandra's face twitched, not with concern, but with irritation. "So, you can't walk at all?" she asked, glancing around as though embarrassed to be near him. "For how long?" Adrian said quietly, "The doctor doesn't know, maybe a long time." Cassandra stepped away as if she had heard something disgusting. "Oh, well. I guess we'll manage." But her tone said something else entirely. "I didn't sign up for this." Adrian watched closely, noticing everything. Over the next week, Cassandra stopped visiting as often. Each time she did come, she came dressed glamorously, taking selfies, complaining about how depressing the house felt now, and telling Adrian that he needed to try harder to get better because my social life is suffering. But Emma became his strength without even knowing she was being tested. She brought him breakfast exactly how he liked it, not because she was told, but because she had memorized his preferences long ago. She massaged his stiff hands, helped him reach books, even adjusted his blanket during the night when she thought he was sleeping. Adrian would sometimes open his eyes slightly to watch her, and every time she would whisper, thinking he couldn't hear, "You're strong, sir. You'll get through this. I believe in you." Words Cassandra never once said. One afternoon, Adrian overheard Cassandra talking to her best friend in the garden. "Can you believe this? I didn't spend 2 years building a future with him just to push a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I deserve better. I need a man who can take me places, not someone who needs diapers." She laughed. Adrian felt something inside him shatter, but now he knew the truth. Emma, carrying tea, heard Cassandra's words too. She gasped softly and turned around before they noticed her. Her eyes filled with anger she rarely showed. Later that evening, she entered Adrian's room, but for the first time, she didn't smile. She hesitated, then said quietly, "Sir, I need to tell you something. It might hurt, but you deserve to know." Adrian's heart beat faster. Emma explained everything she overheard, trembling with emotion as she spoke. Adrian watched her closely, not because he needed the information, but because he was witnessing pure sincerity. She didn't want to hurt him, she wanted to protect him. He gently touched her hand. "Thank you, Emma," he whispered. She blinked, confused. You're not angry at me?" Adrian shook his head. You're the only one who has been honest with me. Over the next few days, Emma continued caring for him with patience and genuine compassion. Every detail she handled with love, not obligation. Meanwhile, Cassandra became more distant, more annoyed, and more desperate to escape the situation. The truth became unmistakably clear: Cassandra's love was an act, and Emma's love, quiet, unseen, unconditional, was real. One evening, Adrian invited both women to the garden. Emma arrived in her maid uniform, nervous, unsure why she was called. Cassandra arrived confidently, assuming Adrian was finally ready to apologize for being difficult. But when she saw him sitting upright, lifting his legs slowly, revealing he wasn't paralyzed at all, her jaw dropped. Adrian removed his neck brace and stood up fully. You lied. Cassandra exploded. Adrian stared at her calmly. I tested you, he said. Because I needed to know if you loved me, or my lifestyle. Cassandra scoffed. Who tests their girlfriend like that? Adrian stepped closer. Someone who senses the truth. Someone who wants real love, not a gold-plated lie. Cassandra's face turned dark. Are you calling me a gold digger? You called yourself that, Adrian said, repeating her garden conversation word for word. Cassandra froze, exposed. Adrian continued, you failed the test the moment I couldn't give you the image you wanted. Cassandra stormed out in rage, screaming empty threats as she left the mansion forever. When the gates closed behind her, silence filled the garden. Emma stood quietly, confused, unsure whether she should stay. Adrian turned to her, taking a slow breath. Emma, you passed a test you didn't even know you were taking. She blushed deeply, unable to meet his eyes. Sir. I was only doing my job. No, Adrian said softly. You were doing what your heart told you to do. Emma looked up, her eyes shimmering. Anyone with a heart would have done the same. But not everyone has a heart like yours, he said. He stepped closer, reaching out to gently lift her chin. You've shown me more love in a week than Cassandra did in 2 years. Emma's breath trembled. Sir. I never expected anything in return. I know, Adrian whispered. That's what makes it real. He asked her to walk with him. They moved through the garden, the evening breeze warm and soft, the scent of roses filling the air. For the first time in a long while, Adrian felt peace. He told Emma that her kindness had healed him more than she could ever imagine. He told her that her strength reminded him what real loyalty looked like. Emma listened, her heart pounding. She had admired him from afar for years, never once imagining he could look at her the same way. But now he did, with pure gratitude and a tenderness she had only dreamed of. Emma, he said finally, stopping near the fountain, I want you to stay in my life, not as my maid, but as someone I cherish. Emma covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Sir. Adrian. I don't know what to say, say you'll give us a chance, he said gently. Emma nodded, tears falling. Yes. I will. Adrian wrapped his arms around her, and for the first time since his father's passing, he felt truly loved, not for his wealth, not for his status, but for his heart. And as they stood together in the fading sunlight, Adrian whispered, sometimes you have to fall to see who helps you rise. If you enjoyed this powerful story, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional, heart-touching stories that will keep you hooked till the end.